Hayden Ostrich, the winning pitcher for the Carroll Tigers, joining us here today as they take third place in the Kemper Invitational. Hayden, arm a little bit sore right now, but how'd you feel out on the hill today?
Starting off, it was a little iffy. It was getting sore a little bit, and it was kind of that oh crap thinking. And then as I kept throwing, it got better and better. So I guess it wasn't too bad as the game ended.
How do you try to fight through that when the arm's a little sore early on?
I got Tylenol from Luke Vanami's mom halfway through the second inning. And then I think that helped a lot. It set in a little bit, stretched a lot during. I actually try to stay out of the shade too and get into the sun to keep my arm warmed up instead of wearing that big coat that keeps it warm.
Yeah.
You sweat everywhere.
Well, that's pretty good thinking for a young guy in high school. So,
yeah.
When did you come up with that concept?
About 10 minutes before the game. Right after I got done warming up over here, I decided I'm sitting in the shade, and it's actually kind of cool in the shade. And then I guess I just decided, I'm like, I don't need this. So I decided I'd either get in the coat or I'm going in the sun, and I decided just sit in the sun.
So you're probably the one person maybe in the stands besides me today that was glad that it was a warm day out here. Talk about how you kept these guys off balance. They never really looked overly comfortable against you in the hill today, or in the batter's box.
I actually felt really comfortable with positions, like where I was throwing the ball, hitting spots, and I felt actually really comfortable with Luke behind the plate. And when you can trust your catcher and trust where you're going to throw the ball and trust that he's going to keep it in front of him, it's actually really easy.
Looked like you threw a lot of off-speed pitches. Was that something that you guys had noticed in watching these guys in previous games here?
I've played with a couple of the kids from Lemars this past fall, and I've known playing with them, you can kind of tell if what they can hit and what they can't, what they struggle with.
So how much pleasure do you get in having those guys struggle against you today, and how much will you razz them now the game's over?
I'll give them a little crap, but not a whole lot, I guess.
Talk about at the plate for you today. I know you picked up one base hit today. How'd you feel? How you feel like you're swinging right now?
I'm actually loving my swing right now. I'm getting back into that line drive instead of popping everything up. Trying not to hit everything as hard as I can and just focusing on squaring the ball up and driving it into right and center field.
Well, you drove that one out into center today. Take us through that bat if you can.
The last one, correct?
Yes.
That bad. Got a, what was it? I think a fastball. Chance ended up stealing on that one, I think.
Yep.
Or no, Colton, fastball. That's what it was. And then I got a Q-tip curveball off the end of the bat that I just was way out in front of. Then he threw me a knuckleball that was actually a really nice pitch. Started at right about here and dropped right in the middle of the plate. Nothing really you can do about that. And then fought off a couple and then just drove one out to the center field. Good play by the center fielder.
How nice is it to be able to get a win here, finish third in this tournament? You guys really a pretty good tournament, 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1's a lot better than 1-2. That's the one thing we said last night. You feel a lot better going out of here with 2-1 instead of 1-2. So, I mean, that especially after that long game last night, that was a tough loss to take with the walk-off there at the end.
I was going to say, you guys played well in all 3 games and be proud of that. You got Dallas and Grimes coming up on Monday.
Yep.
What's going to be the focus going into that game?
Pitching and defense. The bats will work themselves out. We just got to don't let them, or we can't beat ourselves. We got to make them beat us.
Well, I tell you what, Hayden, great job out on the hill today. A one-hitter, perfect pitching. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Have a good day.